What's up, Coastal Fitness Nutrition? Dr. Devon Coughlin here. Another video that we're going to talk about. I know we've been on the nutrition bandwagon here for a while, but I do want to touch on another big topic. Big thing right now is plant-based meats or artificial meats that you might have heard. I do want to touch on this with some detail, but before I even go into a lot, I'm not trying to be political, but I just want you to think about the fact that when have you ever heard a presidential administration try to tell you what to eat? And so, right now in 2021, President Biden has mentioned that they're recommending that in the future, Americans eat no more than 4 pounds of beef per year. All right, in a year, no more than 4 pounds. So, I mean, it's like if you have like a 8-ounce hamburger, that would be like you get 8 burgers per year on this new plan. Now, the other part about this is that Bill Gates is also behind recommending a lot of these plant-based meats, and they're saying the reason behind it is because regular cow or eating regular meats is bad for the environment. It's increasing our carbon footprint. It is adding to global warming. I have a really hard time buying any of that, and I think that the truth is, if you look, Bill Gates is actually a major investor in plant-based meats, as are a number of very wealthy people. So they want more and more Americans eating plant-based meat, and what they're doing is they're using the environment as the reason behind that so that they can make more profits. All right, so my personal opinion is these are not healthy foods, and I'm going to break down why we're going to say that. Again, when we recommend eating meat, it's going to be grass-fed, organic, also called pasture-raised meats. All right, and that could be beef, pork, chicken, again, be pasture-raised. And then when we recommend seafood, it's always going to be wild-caught seafood and shellfish, certainly shellfish in some moderation. But again, the truth is, these plant-based meats, it's not because they're not being recommended because they're healthy for us. They're being recommended for political agendas, profit margins, and again, they're blaming it on global warming. So again, I've told you before, when we talk about Coastal Fitness Nutrition, there's no BS here. We're going to give you the truth. And when we actually look at the ingredients in these fake meats or these plant-based meats, you're going to see these aren't health foods by any means. I am going to be fair and say that comparing the two most popular brands, Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat, you're going to see that one is better than the other. And I'm going to go over that with you to be totally transparent about that. But the truth is, I don't recommend any of these plant-based meats. And when the government's trying to tell me what to eat, that's also a red flag for me as well. All right, so let's dive in. The first one we're going to look at is Impossible Meat. All right, you've probably heard of this company. They make a lot of different things from like beef patties to sausage and things like that. Primarily, it's soy-based. So they're going to brag about the high protein content. They're going to talk about how beneficial it is for our health. It's low in cholesterol, all these different things. Truth is, this is highly processed, genetically modified soy. Not only is that not a health food, that's a food that you should be running away from. All right, so a lot of times these manufacturers will talk about how, soy is being used in China and Asian diets and things like that. There's some truth to that, but it's mostly not true. The Asian cultures do eat some soy. First off, it's not genetically modified soy. Number two, it's fermented soy. Things like natto. It's not like soy protein isolate from genetically modified organisms. Okay, so that's misleading. Yes, there's some protein there, but that is not a health food by any means. I wouldn't be bragging about genetically modified soy in my product if I owned Impossible Meats. Second is going to be sunflower oil. If you remember from some of our videos on unhealthy vegetable oils, you're going to see sunflower oil is right up there. It's an omega-6 fatty acid, highly inflammatory, the opposite of a health food. Okay. Next here, you're going to see an ingredient list is MSG, or monosodium glutamate. Now, they try to hide it by calling it yeast extract, but those that have a trained eye know that yeast extract actually means MSG. Now, MSG is an excitotoxin, meaning that it actually affects your neurology and your neurons. MSG is going to wreak havoc in your neurological system. All right, you don't want to be getting any kind of MSG. Next, you're going to see, because there's no nutrition in soy protein isolate, they have to go back in and add synthetic vitamins and minerals. Again, these are not things I'd be bragging about. If I go to the drugstore, like a CVS or something like that, and I buy the cheapest multivitamin they have there, that's not healthy. It's not giving us anything. As a matter of fact, a lot of times that's a burden on our body. So synthetic vitamins and minerals are not going to replace the amazing nutrients that you get from grass-fed beef. All right, so again, that is a marketing tactic. It's a lie. We don't want those synthetic vitamins anyway. And then lastly, you're going to see in there is natural flavors. Natural flavors is the food industry's way of saying it's like proprietary information. We don't have to tell you what it is. That could be anything. Could be like any lab-made chemical. They don't have to tell you is basically what that means. So as far as I'm concerned, you should be running in the opposite direction of impossible. That company in general, GMOs, inflammatory oils, MSG, synthetic flavoring and vitamins, there's nothing good coming out of that. You're way better off having a grass-fed steak or burger than you are any of that chemical, soup that's over there. The second one we're going to look at is a little bit better. Again, to be fair, Beyond is using better ingredients. Still wouldn't consider it a health food. I still wouldn't eat it myself. But if we're going to compare them, let's look at it. So Beyond does use a number of proteins. They use more beans, peas, fava beans, brown rice protein, which are all better options than soy. One thing I forgot to mention on soy is that it has estrogen properties. So again, things that most of us don't want. But Beyond is using non-GMO beans, brown rice, different things like that for their proteins. Again, still not a fan of that, but it's a much better option than Impossible. Second, you're going to see canola oil is used in their products. Now again, we've learned from previous videos, canola oil is usually genetically modified, which makes it an absolute no-no. But in this case, they're using non-GMO canola oil. I still don't like the fatty acid profile. It's still going to be high in omega-6 fatty acids, which makes it inflammatory. So again, I'd like to avoid it. But again, a better option because it is non-GMO. Natural flavors and MSG you're going to see make their way into Beyond. I just went over those. Natural flavors is a way that the company can basically not tell you what it is. And then again, MSG, like we talked about, is a neurotoxin, excitotoxin, affecting the nerve system and the brain. Not a good ingredient at all. If I had to choose one, I would pick Beyond, but again, my choice would be neither. I would stick with God-made, natural, grass-fed meats that are, again, pasture-raised, organic, all of those different things. It's funny because as long as science is trying to outsmart Mother Nature, as far as I'm concerned, they're going to lose. Mother Nature's going to win 100% of the time. So again, plant-based meats, not a good idea. We're being manipulated for profits. We're being manipulated by this global warming agenda saying that that's the case. And so really you can sustainably farm and have meats properly, and we can actually utilize the fertilizer and reduce that carbon footprint by basically doing smarter farming methods. We don't have to resort to plant-based meat. All right, so again, Dr. Devon Coughlin giving you 100% truth. No BS here on coastal fitness and nutrition. Make sure you like and subscribe our videos and share this with a vegetarian.